My name is Paul Alexander.
Paul Alexander, known as Polio Paul, lived an extraordinary life in an iron lung for over 70 years after being paralyzed by polio. Sadly, he passed away after contracting COVID-19. German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung reports that it was not a defect in his iron lung, but the corona infection that led to his death. He died peacefully in the presence of his brother. In what may be his final interview, Alexander shared his incredible journey with Süddeutsche Zeitung earlier this year. He revealed that he had almost died 1,000 times and had a feeling that his time was running out. The 78-year-old was admitted to hospital and tested positive for COVID-19 last month, his social media manager told his legion of fans in a TikTok video posted on February 27th. He was discharged and went home, the man called Lincoln said, but was still weak.
I know there's been a lot of questions and comments about where have the videos been, is Paul doing okay? And last week he was unfortunately rushed to the emergency room in the hospital. He tested positive for COVID, which is really, really dangerous, obviously, for someone with his condition. Fortunately, they have an iron lung at the hospital just for him. And he was able to come home this weekend, but unfortunately, he's still kind of weak. He's still got some confusion going around. He's been struggling to eat and hydrate. So for that reason, we'll be holding off on the videos for a little bit longer.
Alexander, who went by the handle Iron Lungman, connected with his fans through TikTok. In a series called Conversations with Paul, he chatted with his followers, answering their questions and sharing his experiences. His videos gained millions of views, and he amassed over 330,000 followers on the platform. Since his passing, tributes have poured in from his devoted followers. Many have left heartfelt comments, calling him an inspiration and expressing their condolences. One fan wrote, "Forever rest easy, Paul Alexander. You were the most inspirational person I have had the enjoyment of following forever fly high." Kai Kupferschmidt, a journalist who had the privilege of interviewing Alexander multiple times, expressed his sadness on X, saying, "So sad to hear that Paul Alexander passed away yesterday at age 78 from COVID-19. Paul contracted polio in 1952 when he was just 6 years old. He ended up in an iron lung, and while he could live outside it for extended periods of time, he never really left it." Christopher Ulmer, an organizer and disability rights activist, shared his thoughts on Alexander's GoFundMe page. He wrote, "Paul Alexander, the man in the iron lung, passed away yesterday. After surviving polio as a child, he lived over 70 years inside of an iron lung. In this time, Paul went to college, became a lawyer, and a published author. His story traveled wide and far, positively influencing people around the world. Paul was an incredible role model that will continue to be remembered." Despite his physical constraints, Alexander achieved remarkable feats throughout his life. At 21, he became the first person to graduate from a high school in Dallas without ever attending class in person. He overcame numerous challenges to gain admission to Southern Methodist University and later pursued his dream of becoming a trial lawyer at the University of Texas, Austin. In court, he represented clients in a three-piece suit, sitting upright in a modified wheelchair. Alexander also fought for disability rights, staging a sit-in, and shared his inspiring story in his memoir, 3 Minutes for a Dog, My Life in an Iron Lung. The memoir, meticulously written over 5 years, showcases his determination and resilience. Paul wrote each word with a pen attached to a stick in his mouth. Throughout his life, Alexander faced many obstacles, including a leaking iron lung in 2015. Thanks to the help of mechanic Brady Richards, who saw Paul's plea for assistance in a YouTube video, the machine was repaired. The iron lung, a large yellow metal box, required patients to lie down inside with the device fastened around their neck. It created a vacuum to mechanically draw in oxygen for patients affected by polio. During his time in the hospital, doctors attempted to wean Paul off the iron lung and Brathy on his own, but his body struggled to adjust. Despite the availability of more modern ventilators, Paul chose to continue using the iron lung because it was what he was accustomed to. In memory of Polio Paul, let us celebrate his incredible life and the impact he had on countless lives around the world. His determination, resilience, and unwavering spirit will continue to inspire us all.